Welcome to another Kendra's Card Challenge collaboration hop featuring cat scrappiness. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so happy to see you here. Today we're doing our hop with cat scrappiness, and I'm going to be using sketch number 15, and I'll go ahead and get started with the process. So here's my first card. It's my prototype. I do prototypes first, and I'm going to show you exactly how I made this. And it's a little mini shaker, or it's got a shaker component, but it's not a full shaker. And I'm using these Easter Quokkas. Aren't they adorable? I just love them. And I'll use the little guy with the little headband, little fake guy. It's got lots of little punny sentiments inside. And then there is a coordinating die set, so I will be using that as well to cut out my little bunny and my little words. And, backers and things like that. So everything matches, and I set it up on a piece of magnet sheet so that it would coordinate with the words, so I know which one goes where. And I know that sounds crazy, but yep, that's what I do. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a piece of cardstock here and stamp my little rabbit. And not rabbit, he's a kwaaka. So quokkas are an interesting little character. They're kind of like in the kangaroo family. And they live only on a couple of places in Australia. And they're known as the happiest animal on the internet. So because they have that little smiley face. And if you Google quokka, you're going to find all kinds of interesting and fun information about these little animals. But these ones are set up to be cute, so that's what they're gonna be. And I'm gonna go ahead and color this for you today. I generally don't color on camera, but I'll be using my Prismacolor pencils. And while I'm coloring, and I do have this sped up quite a bit, while I'm coloring, we'll just talk about the Kendra's Card Challenge and what it's about. If you've never done it before, it's helpful if you join Kendra's Facebook group, and I have everything linked down below. But you basically take the sketches that Kendra provides and make 15 cards, 15 different cards. You take a picture of all 15 cards and you post them in the appropriate album on Kendra's Facebook page. And so today, and we have our super sponsors. And our super sponsors give away prizes to you guys, and they also send product for us to use. And that's what makes them super. And so this is, of course, cat scrappiness. And I, of course, will have a link down below for you to, if you wanted to grab these Easter Quokkas. I just can't get over how cute. So I'm using several shades of brown, and I go back in with my pen. And sorry about my face there in the camera. It is what it is. I have to get close to it. Because the only thing that I'm finding is when you do a lot of heavy coatings with the Prisma pencils, they tend to have some opacity to them. So I want to bring my vivid black back. And I'm just doing some extra shading here. Anything you don't like, that's what erasers are for. And this is why I love working with pencils, because I can erase. I don't use Gamsol. I have tried it before, but I kind of just prefer burnishing with the pencil itself. So anyway, let's go ahead and get some green down here for the grass. And I'm using 3 shades of green. And then I'll color my little eggs with my gel pens, just because it's fun. Gel pens are a lot of fun, and they have, they have shiny, sparkly effects and things like that. But just doing some simple coloring on those, not trying to get any shading in or anything like that. The little kwaaka sitting there has enough detail to not worry about that. So we got our kwaaka cut out here, and then I've got my Happy Easter cut out, and I cut out extra layers because I want to build a little something here for you guys. So I'm going to take a strip of paper about a 1/2 inch, and we're going to be trimming on it, but actually I need to do my background first, so we'll get to that other part soon. I'm going to be using some of my ink to create clouds, and I just cut this little cloud stencil out of a piece of paper. I have cloud stencils, but it's such a small area that I'm working with that I found it just easier to sit here with my scissors and just cut out some little hill looking things. And then I'll come in, and I like to flip this over when I'm working with this. I'll come in with this jelly bean green, and I'm going to swipe it upwards so that it gives us the appearance of grass, and so it's darker at the front and lighter at the back, giving a little bit of perspective. And it's pretty simple coloring, and that's, how we're going to build our scene. And what I like to do is I like to use just some packaging. And I'm just going to cut it bigger than the square that I have, or the rectangle that I have. And it doesn't matter if it's a lot bigger or a little bigger. You can always trim it later, but you want to make sure that it is bigger. And here, let me put it on a piece of paper so you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm just going to grab my little thin 1/8 inch tape. And I'm going to tape down the sides. And I'm going to show you a little trick, because you don't want to get these too tight. And I have gotten them too tight many times. And I was always sorry later. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish that down. And what I want to do is I want to take just a couple of little pieces of scrap paper that are smaller than my rectangle and stuff them inside of there before I tape down the other side. So it ensures that I'm not, that I've left room for my embellishments. Then I'll go ahead and tape the other side down. And again, you want that fairly loose. You don't want to pull and tug on it. So you'll see when I pick it up how loose it is, because those little pieces just slide right out. And then I can trim the other ends. What I like to do is miter off these corners, but don't cut all the way down to the paper. Leave a little bit, and then clear off that one extra piece from the folded portion. And I cut that one a little bit too short, but it'll be fine. It's more than an 1/8 inch, so it'll cover. Then I'll go ahead and put a piece of tape down on that side, and I'm leaving the other side open so I can stuff it. And I have to use my tweezers because my hands just never want to work right. So now I've got a little pocket here that I can put my embellishments. And the embellishments I'm using, some of them are the little eggs from Cat Scrappiness. I'm going to go ahead and dump them all the embellishments I want to use into this little triangle tray. Aren't these cute, these little clay bit eggs? They're adorable. And then I've got just some little kind of confetti here. And I'm going to put a little bit of yellow confetti in here. And then I'm just going to dump it all in all at one time. And you don't need too much. And here's the beauty of doing a shaker like this. You need a lot less shaky bits because it's small. This is only like 2 1/4 by 3 1/4, I think. And then I'll go ahead and fold this over, and again, not too tight, but then burnish it down, and there my shaker element is ready to go. Now, this word. And I want to show you what I want to do. I'm going to take these extras that I cut out of the same die cut. I'm going to cut these in half lengthwise. And you'll see why in a moment. So I've got this little strip, and it's about a 1/2 inch by about 3 inches, and I'll of course trim some off. I'm going to take these little clay bit eggs again, and I'm going to glue a row of them at the bottom of this piece of little scrap, and it's just a scrap piece of paper. I think I'm going to do 8 of them, and I'm just going to kind of alternate how they sit, so they're not all just straight up and down, so they look like they're eggs in a row, kind of like the eggs that little Quokka is sitting with. And just poke them down. Okay, now I'll just trim off. I'm going to trim off right around that last egg. Try and make sure your stuff's dry before you do that. I'm so impatient. I can't help myself. So what I'm basically doing is I'm making a little home for my Happy Easter. But I'm going to take those half pieces, and you notice I trimmed off, so there's only about an 1/8 inch there. I'm going to take those little half pieces and glue those down, so that it'll bring my Happy Easter up to the height of the eggs. Just like that. Once that's done, we can go ahead and assemble the card. Isn't that cute? So, and then I do like to trim off the paper around the last eggs just to give it a little extra touch. And yeah, it's a fun thing to do to really kick up an element in your card. So I'm using the Cat Scrappiness Glitter Galore paper as my first layer, which is 4¼ by 5½, and I'm just gluing that down to a white card base. Then I want to pop up this matte layer here, and so I just use some of my fun foam, and I'm going to glue that down. But first I'm going to put the little strips on. And I don't measure, I just eyeball them. That's just the way I roll with that. And so maybe sometimes they're not perfect, you know, symmetrical. You can do that by all means. I'm not judging. I'm just not a perfectionist. I am, is the weird part is I am, but if it looks okay to me, I'm good. Even if it's not, you know, exactly an 1/8 inch away from each other, so on and so forth. As long as they're kind of straight, that's all that matters to me. And then I have this tiny bit of holographic silver paper that I'm using as the tiniest pinstripe. I know that a lot of people use those Love from Lizzie ones, which are super cool, and they're definitely on my wish list. It makes it a lot easier than trying to cut those all at the same size, you know, because there's not really a measurement for that on my trimmer. So I'm going to go ahead and also pop up this shaker bit element because, well, for one, because it looks good, but for number two, that'll help hold down my plastic in the back. And then I'm going to mount that onto the next piece that's in the directions, and I'm going to glue that straight down onto the matte layer. So this, basically the center layer has 2 matte layers. Then I'm going to attach little kwaaka, and I'm just going to add a little bit of foam tape here. I want to pop him up a little bit. And I believe I have 2 or 3 layers that die cut together on that as well, just to get, you know, give it some sturdiness. So there is a giveaway with this hop. The link is down below. All you need to do is like this video, leave a comment, and click that link to fill out to win a prize from Kendra. And then just to let you know that none of the all the YouTube rules need to be followed, so on and so forth. It's all down there in the description box. And don't forget to follow along on this hop. All you need to do is click the link below, and it'll take you to the playlist where you can see all the hoppers, and maybe you'll see somebody you like and do something new and fun. And here we go. So I've got the little kwaaka Easter card. Thanks a bunch. Bye-bye.